Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm looking at the newly launched NAD C700 streaming amplifier. This is the latest in what they're describing as their range of Just Add Speakers products, so I've done just that to find out what this amp can do and if it's any good. The C700 is based around a hybrid digital UCD amplifier which is able to deliver 80 watts per channel regardless of whether you're using 4 or 8 ohm speakers, and up to 120 watts per channel of instantaneous power, meaning that if there's a sudden bass boom or orchestral swell, the C700 has an abundance of power to deliver the full dynamics of your music. NAD have been making great use of this hybrid digital approach to amplification for a while now, and it allows them to make amplifiers which are able to deliver high levels of current at very low levels of distortion, regardless of the types of speakers connected. Another advantage of this is that these amplifiers are not reliant upon traditional power supplies with large and heavy transformers. This means they can pack this high level of performance into relatively small boxes, producing amplifiers that will sound great and easily fit into your living room. That's exactly what they've managed to achieve here. Using these artfully positioned CD and Blu-ray boxes for scale, you can see that the C700 is a lot smaller than a traditional amplifier. The sleekly designed aluminium body is designed to place all emphasis on the unit's front panel, which features this bright and colourful 5-inch LCD display, as well as the volume dial and a few directional buttons. We'll talk about this screen alongside the amp's BluOS streaming platform in a moment, but the screen and these front buttons also allow you quick access to some settings menus, as well as the input selection screen. This amp does offer quite a nice range of connections as well, which we'll have a look at the end of this video, but it's really the BluOS streaming system that's at the heart of this amplifier. Those of you who have seen some of the other videos on this channel will likely be familiar with BlueSound and the BluOS platform, but for those of you who are new here, the BluOS software provides the streaming brains for the C700, as well as a range of other NAD and BlueSound products. The C700 connects to your router, whether wirelessly or via an Ethernet cable, and is controlled by the BluOS app on a smart device. This can be an iPhone, iPad, Android phone or tablet, or a Windows or Mac computer. From this app, you can select the C700 and then tell it what you want to play. You can play back music from a USB drive inserted into the amplifier, local music stored on your home network, internet radio stations, or from a huge variety of streaming services. Some of these services, such as Amazon Music HD, Qobuz and Tidal, allow you to stream music in higher than CD quality, ensuring that you have the very best possible digital source for your music. The technology that Tidal uses to support this high-resolution music is known as MQA, and both BluOS and the NAD C700 have support for this super high-quality format. The amplifier also supports Spotify Connect, meaning that you can control it from within the Spotify app, and Apple AirPlay 2, which lets you beam audio directly to the C700 from an Apple device. When using any of these options to stream music to the NAD C700, the screen will give you the album artwork and track details. I'd like to think that I'm not somebody easily won over by flashy lights or shiny things, but I have to say I really love having a display like this on the front of an amplifier. I can have a radio station or playlist going along while I work, then when I hear something I like, I can easily look over and find out what it is. So when NAD say that you can take the C700 and just add speakers, and a bit of speaker cable obviously, this is what they mean. With the free BluOS app, you can get your system up and running and playing your digital music in minutes. But that's not all the C700 is capable of, and using the connectivity available on the back of the amp, you can make it the central hub of a larger home audio system. On the back of the amp, along the bottom row, you'll find the power connector and the speaker terminals. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that these are red and blue, as opposed to the traditional red and black. There is a reason for this. The black terminals on a traditional analog amplifier connect to electrical ground. Due to the way the hybrid digital amps work, the negative terminals on these amps do not connect to ground, and so aren't compatible with certain devices that require this. Hence they use blue terminals to highlight the difference. These red and blue terminals are compatible with all traditional speakers. It's really only the high-level connections used by RAL subwoofers that would run into problems here. There's a quick and simple fix for this, however, and I'll put an article detailing it in the video comments. The row above the speaker terminals features all your other connections. On the top left, you have 2 mini jack connections, one for a 12-volt trigger output and one for an infrared input. These are used to send control signals when integrating the amp into a larger system using power amplifiers or infrared eyes, for example. Next to these are 2 analog RCA inputs. These are the connections you would use for any analog audio source, but it's important to note that they are not phono inputs. This means that if you want to connect a turntable to the C700, you'll need to make sure that it either has a line level output or that you're using an external phono stage. The next 2 connections are outputs, delivering the signal from the C700 to other devices. The pre-out output takes the audio from the amplifier just after the preamplifier stage, before the power amplifier stage. This means that you can connect the C700 to a dedicated power amp, either because you have particularly demanding speakers or you want to use the C700 as a dedicated streaming preamp. Next to this is the subwoofer output. You can connect the amplifier to a powered subwoofer via a single RCA connection to provide the bass that you may be lacking from smaller speakers. The crossover frequency, below which the bass information will be sent to the subwoofer, can be configured in the C700 setup menu, either in the BluOS app or using the on-screen setup menu. Next to these outputs are some digital inputs with digital coaxial and optical connections. The coax connection is often used by disc players or other digital audio sources, whereas the optical is often found on TVs, skyboxes or other set-top boxes. These allow you to connect these sources to the NAD and take advantage of the high-quality digital to analog conversion that the NAD is able to offer as a result of its hybrid digital design, meaning that you'll usually get much better quality sound than using the audio coming from these boxes directly. Next to these digital inputs is an HDMI connector. Through this connection, you can connect the C700 to the ARC HDMI port on your television and use the amplifier to give you better quality sound from everything you watch. This port uses the newer eARC standard, which improves compatibility with the newest TVs, allows for higher quality of data to be sent to the amplifier, and makes it easy to control the amplifier's volume using the TV's remote control. On to the final batch of connections now, and there are two service ports used unsurprisingly for servicing the amplifier. There is an Ethernet port that allows you to hardwire the amplifier to your network. The C700 does support Wi-Fi connection, but as always we recommend using a cable connection if possible, as that will generally give you a quicker and more stable connection. Below the Ethernet port is a USB-A socket, which allows you to connect a memory stick or hard drive full of music to the C700 and play it back using the BluOS app. Finally, there is a small standby button, which places the amp into standby mode. During normal usage, the amplifier will be put into a sleep state when not in use, saving energy, but the standby button allows you to almost completely shut down the unit. The screen and streaming module will be turned off, meaning you have to press the standby button again to wake the unit up before you can use it. Press and hold the standby button for about 5 seconds to activate the standby mode, then press it once to wake the unit up. So the new C700 is clearly a very capable and flexible amp, but the most important question is, does it actually sound any good? I'm very happy to report that it's absolutely brilliant. Over the few days I've been playing with it and putting this video together, I've been repeatedly surprised by the details and dynamics the C700 has captured in my music. Having put on a few different sets of speakers, some more demanding than others, it's performed incredibly well no matter what I have connected to it. I'd urge you, if at all possible, to pop along to a Sevenoaks store and have a listen for yourself. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.